All right, shall we start?
Yeah, I think we just start chatting away and then see who gets active. Yeah, I can see many people have woken up really early, particularly Mike. I think at his time zone right now is very, very much before sunrise.
Uh,
Yeah, it's still dark over here, but I've had a couple cups of coffee, so we're ready to go.
All right.
yeah, sorry about that. I mean, people are everywhere in the world. All right. Before we begin, let me clarify how this AMA is going to go real quick. Basically, we'll have three sections. The first one we'll do introductions, then some prepared questions, and after that we'll have the Q&A from the audience. Also, we are recording this Twitter space, so everyone will be able to listen to it later. All right, guys. If you, I could start like real quick. So my name is Elijah. Yeah, I'm the community lead at NOWPayments. If you could, I guess, all introduce yourself, like, and your team, what do you do, etc.
Yeah, of course. Thanks again, Elijah. So yeah, my name is Lars. I'm working with the DigiByte Foundation. And yeah, we basically are very grateful for you to host this. And also, we noted that Now Payments has upranked the DigiByte coin and put it amongst your supported coins into the popular category. Thanks also for that. Great to see that DigiByte is getting recognized by companies like yours.
Well, yeah, because it is. I mean, it is quite a popular solution for our merchants.
Yeah, that's good to hear from a real application use case.
Yeah, that's awesome. Here from the DigiByte Foundation account, Roger speaking, one of the co-founders of the DigiByte Foundation. And I've been active within the DigiByte community from 2016, so several years now. And yeah, I really like the way NowPayments is interacting with us in the community. I think you guys are one of the leading examples in the crypto space. So well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, hi. My name is Mike, and I'm also with the DigiByte Foundation, and I've been in the community for a few years now. And yeah, it's great to be involved with these sorts of activities and coordinate with organizations such as Now Payments. I know we do a lot of work behind the scenes, so it's great for companies such as yourselves to be out front of the industry and work with all the various groups, and especially the open source, permissionless, decentralized projects like DigiByte is. So yeah, thank you for hosting this, and yeah, looking forward to a great space.
Yeah, maybe to add, we are all volunteers. Yeah, so I think that is something that needs to be highlighted all the time. So no one who comes, no matter if representative of the DigiByte Foundation or maybe some people from DigiByte Alliance, in case someone joins in later, or I see Master of Leadership is here. I think who is a very also independent in representation or of support towards DigiByte blockchain. So all of us are volunteers, which is, I guess, a little bit of a differentiation between many other projects where kind of people are paid to represent a company. Here, this is very different. So we are all convinced about the technology, and yeah, whatever time we spend is unpaid for. Yeah, so it's a volunteer activity, and it's quite interesting to see around the DigiByte blockchain that this, to me, I don't know. Of course, I'm probably living a little bit in a bubble, but my Twitter account shows a lot of community engagement of volunteers in support of DigiByte, and I don't really see that amongst other coins so presently.
That's actually, well, I did not know that, first of all, and yeah, that's awesome. That is a really great thing, like to believe in the project that much. All right, thank you guys all for the introductions. I have like a few questions that I have prepared. Those are basically the ones that I'm wondering myself. And so most likely they will be useful for the communities as well. I'm not sure how you would like to decide who's going to answer, but I'm just going to address the question to all of you, and then whoever feels like it can pop in and add their insight.
Yeah, that will work. Perfect.
All right, great. All right, so basically, all right, here's the first one that I had. What, in your opinion, differentiates DigiByte from other cryptocurrencies when we are talking about it being a means of payment?
Well, I would like to take that one if that's all right with you. So
Yeah.
perfect. So yeah, well, I think if you look at payments, then two important use cases come to mind, and one is payments in an online environment, and the other one is in a brick and mortar environment. And because if we really want to separate state from money and build a new future based on cryptocurrency payments, then we must be ready for both types of scenarios. So you could imagine that if you would pay online, something in a web shop, you could get away with waiting 20 minutes or 10 or 20 minutes for confirmations before your payment is done and you actually have bought the product. But if you go to a retail, brick and mortar environment, it doesn't work. Yeah, so it means that you have to near instantly be able to complete your transaction and not let the customer leave with a strange feeling of maybe the transaction will never arrive or whatever, or that you have to wait for a long time. So the speed of the transaction, and combined with that, so you have two elements in that. First, you have the wallet-to-wallet speed, and the DigiByte is insanely quick with that. It's near instant, but there are other blockchains that also can do that. But then also the confirmations on chain in the blockchain happens with DigiByte also very quick. So it takes at most 15 seconds because we have very stable 15-second block time. But it could be quicker even. So you can use it both on an online environment and also in a retail brick and mortar environment. So I always say that DigiByte is one of the few cryptocurrencies that are actually usable at the point of sale. And to use it is to prove it. So I invite everyone to try out transactions, and you will be blown away by the speed of that. And of course, you also need to have top-notch security. Arguably, you could say that DigiByte is more secure than Bitcoin, although that is arguably because, of course, Bitcoin has an enormous hash rate. So DigiByte does not, but DigiByte has near real difficulty adjustments and 5 different mining algorithms. That means that it is virtually impossible to take over the chain, because as soon as you will try to attack the chain with a lot of hash power, then you will be pushed out or equalized to the other miners again pretty quickly, because the difficulty of the mining will instantly go up. So still very secure and the fastest UTXO blockchain in the world. So I think the DigiByte is the ultimate payment coin. And as I said, use it to prove it.
All right, thank you. I've got a quick follow-up questions. What is your transaction per second like? And you also mentioned that the confirmation is almost instant. I'm wondering, how is it achieved?
Well, the confirmation is not instant, but the wallet-to-wallet transaction is instant. So when you send DigiByte from one wallet to another, it is near instance. It differs a little bit, of course, on the location in the world, but it's sometimes within 1 second it is already visible in the other wallet. But then for the actual confirmation of the payment, that it is secured in the blockchain, that goes within 15 seconds, because we have 15-second block times. And how is that achieved? That is done with the DigiSpeed technology. And it goes like this: because we have 5 different mining algorithms, they will alternately find a block. So effectively, all those different mining algorithms have a 75 seconds block time. But because we find 5 blocks in that period, it drops down for the user to 15 seconds. So that's a really great invention, because 75 seconds is actually probably theoretically the fastest you can get to have a stable network and be able to reach consensus in the blockchain all around the globe. So that is what is also there was fundamental Microsoft research used to set those parameters, and well, you can see if you look at DigiByte, it has by far the most stable block times of all the UTXO blockchains. It's also very important.
Got it. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It's no wonder there are like a lot of businesses that choose to accept DigiByte. All right. The DigiByte has a scalable layer, as far as I understand, which is built on top of the blockchain called Digi Assets. Could you tell a bit more about that?
Mike, maybe it's one for you, or Lars.
Sure, I'll chime in on that, and Lars, please jump in as well if you'd like. Yeah, Digi Assets, it's a layer that rides on the DigiByte blockchain and allows you to create NFTs and smart contracts. And it's a fantastic feature for DigiByte, and offers a lot of tools for users. And of course, it has a lot of advantages over other protocols. Of course, Ethereum is probably the king of them all, but the transaction fees for Ethereum can be pretty high, relatively speaking, and definitely a lot more than what the transaction fees are for DigiByte. And so Digi Assets, it first was launched, I believe it was 2019, and I was a huge fan of it right away, because I saw a lot of potential with it. With my background is with marketing and video promotions, and I felt like there was just a lot of opportunity there. So I had a lot of fun just testing out, doing a lot of kind of what I would refer to as just marketing experiments with this new technology is brand new, and incorporating it into my day-to-day life. And it's been great, because a lot of development has occurred since then, and there was the launch of Digi Asset X, which added some additional features to Digi Assets and kind of upgraded it to really get it, build it up to where it needs to be, with the stability and distribution of data, to make it more decentralized and more rugged. And so it's absolute fantastic feature on top of everything else that's great about DigiByte. As Rutger was saying, it's perfect for payments because of its speed, and in addition to its security. And there's also an authentication tool, and then there's DigiID that we can talk about as well. But then on top of that, you've got Digi Assets, which is this NFT layer. So it really allows DigiByte to be kind of one of this, all-encompassing protocol, which allows you to do so much, whether it's payments, NFTs, smart contracts, authentication. So it just makes it, just a really versatile protocol that's very, decentralized and very secure.
Great. Like, by any chance, could you name like some of the projects that are built on top of the Digi Assets? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, in fact, there's the DGB comic called Galactic Cred, and this is like it's like a comic book with audio and voiceover and sound effects that's built into the Digi assets. There's also DigiByte Elf Society. There's Qubit House. I know there's like DigiByte Zoo. There's a number of projects that people are building, regarding artwork. And I know in the past there was others such as when DigiAssets first started, SC Farm. So this was a shrimp farmer based out in the Philippines, and he wanted to expand his farm, but he needed capital to buy the land, and so he developed this profit sharing program with DigiAssets. So he would sell the assets to people who wanted to invest in this project, and he used that capital to expand his farm. And then the shrimp he sold, he distributed all those profits to all the holders of his assets. And I know there was also some mining assets that were built early on too. So a guy developed basically like a mining farm and sold assets to that farm for mining. And every week you would get a payout depending on how many of those assets that you held. So yeah, there's a number of projects being built, and of course it's decentralized, so it's not like we have like a running list of people who are on the project, because it's permissionless and people can just jump on it and do it. They don't have to talk to anyone about it. They don't need, of course, the foundation's approval for anything, or anyone else's for that matter. So there's a number of projects that are being built, and I know Master of Leadership, I know he's listening. I know he's very involved with a lot of NFTs. Maybe he can jump in and maybe chime in, because I know he's very active with. He's done a lot of giveaways in the past. In fact, I've received one from him as well. So yeah, there's a lot of projects there, and I invite people to check it out. It's digiassetx.com. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, I've
figure out how
just
to
shared
post
it
it.
under the comments section here under this space.
Yeah. Okay.
So I shared both links, one to the main page, DGAssets as well as the Galactic Cred link. Well, I can only emphasize to check out Galactic Cred particularly, because, like what Mike was saying, this is really quite a real significant NFT, which is like a real comic book that flips itself, from page to page, audio animated. So it's really something that is much more outstanding than most of the things in the NFT space, I feel, because you just can't right-click, save the same image. It's something you really have to purchase. So it's a really good copyright use case. And yeah, if you want to buy one, there are still a couple available, and you can send them at the speed of DigiByte to any other accredited wallet. That's you got to see which one works on the DigiAssetX. Not every wallet can receive these NFTs yet, but that's one way to check it out, and go to DigiAssetX to find out more about it.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I mean, I understand that it is permissionless. I was just wondering whether you would like to point out some of the projects that you personally know and support.
I think Norse wants to say something, right? He's raising the hand.
Yeah, I was. If we could leave it till the Q&A, live Q&A section.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. If that's all right. Sound like to be organized. Just try not to forget your question, North. Thank you. All right. Mike mentioned the DG ID. I wanted to ask you about that a little bit more too. So you could explain the tech behind it.
Yeah, sure. So the DigiID technology is basically a fingerprint secured mechanism in order to log into a wallet and to identify yourself. And this is the securing mechanism to access the asset database that you would maybe have in a page like DigiAssetX, for example. So if you log into DigiAssetX, you can do so with DigiID, and then by verifying your fingerprint ID, it would select it right into your wallet space. So you would get automated access to particularly the assets that you own in your DigiAssetX created wallet in that page embedded. So it's a more or less automated way for you to get access to your assets and then manage them.
Yeah, and the great thing is that this is just an example, because it can be used to log in to any service that has DigiID available. And for instance, if you're running a website, you can install a DigiID widget to use to log into the website. And the great thing of the technology is that it does not use any stored usernames or passwords. So to explain it in layman terms, what you do is you actually sign a transaction from your DigiID wallet, just like you would sign a transaction when sending DigiByte. But instead of sending DigiByte, you're sending a login token that will be received by the server that you want to log into, and by that you prove that you are you, because you are the only one that holds your keys. So that's really great. It also means that if the website where you normally would log in with usernames and passwords, if they get hacked, then it does not matter, because they will never be able to get your credentials, because there are no credentials stored at the server side. So effectively, DigiID, the technology of DigiID, can eliminate all the username password hack security breaches. So we see that so many times in the news, that people get hacked, or usually companies get hacked, and thousands and sometimes even millions of usernames and passwords land on the street. But with DigiID, that's not possible, because they're non-used and non-stored. So that's really a breakthrough in secure authentication. And I think we will see a lot more of this down the stream in terms of companies that are going to use it.
If I were to add this to my website, how would I go about it? Like, how do you implement this on your website? For instance, it could be not necessarily, it doesn't have to be an instance, like just in project.
Yeah, you have to install the DigiID widget for that, which I think is in the WordPress available.
Oh, okay, and that's it. Yeah, so just the widget.
Yeah, well, that's the most important part indeed.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I think you would have to create a wallet to it, right? Because somehow, so putting your fingerprint on it somewhat puts together the private key as giving you access, right?
At the user side, so at the server side, you will have to use the plugin for WordPress, but the user has to use a wallet like the DigiByte wallet or Koinomi wallet, for instance, that also has yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd also like to point out that using a tool like DigiID is completely free for both the user and the administrator. Like I said, you just pull down the WooCommerce widget, or I think it's also available on GitHub. And as I said, you can just install a wallet on the user side, such as Koinomi, and you can use it. And you don't even need any DigiByte in that wallet. And when you do use it, you don't have to spend any DigiByte. It all rides on the blockchain through your cryptographic keys, but you don't have to actually do any transactions with the DGB coin itself in order to use it.
Yeah, I just want to note that Koinomi was down for DigiByte for a few days, and you were still able to use the DigiID. So the DigiID is not necessarily attached to any coin or your actual private keys. It just uses a ping from your address uh, in a way that you are able to log in. So even when the wallet node was down, you were still able to use the DigiID, which I thought was pretty powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah, and if you just Google, there are lots of manuals online you can find on how to add DigiID authentication in WordPress. So it's easy to find and install if you know your way around of WordPress, of course.
Got it. I mean, that sounds amazing. All right. Before we move into the live Q&A session, I just have a last one quick question for all of you. Could each one of you name like the top 3 companies or industries that you would like to see start accepting DigiByte this year, for instance?
As a DigiByte fanatic, I would love to see DigiByte used, not necessarily just as its payment form, but with the DigiID and the Digi assets, these other layers of technology. I think so many industries could benefit from it, especially the medical industry without medical documents and files. Being able to control who can view those with your DigiID would be powerful.
Awesome. That's a great use case. I didn't even think about that before, but I totally agree. So, and for me personally, I would like to see expansion of retail acceptance. I think that we're historically on a very interesting period in time at the moment, where we might see that next to the government fiat currencies all over the world that are now having a little bit of a crisis in terms of inflation and other issues, that we might see the use of cryptocurrency as a payment in retail taking off. And I think that DigiByte is one of the best to play a major role in that. So I would really like to see. Of course, it is already there. It is already growing, but really on the ground adoption in retail payments. It goes for crypto as a whole. I also would like to see Bitcoin and Litecoin be used a lot more. But as DigiByte also scales a lot easier and is faster to use, I think that it would be a great addition for retail expansion.
Yeah, I think probably retail is one of the best use case experiences, I believe, because if the idea is to really have P2P electronic cash, then I don't know if you have used DigiByte in transaction with maybe someone. It might be in small commerce with a friend or a hairstylist during lockdown. This is very instant of a settlement, right? And I think as Rutger was saying at the very beginning, settlement is key, right? And as it is with Bitcoin, so it is with Litecoin and also DigiByte. The transaction is settlement. And with regards to speed, the transaction of DigiByte is closest to settlement in terms of its speed and transfer, right? So if someone has fast wallets, maybe a Now wallet or an Exodus wallet or another direct DigiByte wallet, it is really within almost a second, sometimes less than a second, that the other wallet gives you this nice ping sound and the transaction being settled and received. So I think that is quite outstanding, and it's probably in use case, direct exchange is probably also a really interesting space, yeah, because ultimately also with regards to P2P, this is hard to beat in terms of user experience. But of course, also in regards to your business model, right? I mean, NOWPayments is having it in a name, payments and now, right? So you also want to have settlement quite instantly. So maybe you could also share a little bit of your kind of customer feedback or customer use case in where DigiByte has been implemented and where it's being used to have settlement or getting donations of some form. Maybe that is also something interesting to be heard towards the audience, because it's finally that we can speak to a business and hear what they say and think of the DigiByte use case in business and use case for payment and settlement.
Yeah, sure. First of all, I totally agree with you on the retail, like being one of the industries that definitely needs to grow for the crypto payments, and specifically with DigiByte. As for the examples of businesses that already use NOWPayments and they do accept payments with DigiByte, I could. I can't say like the names, but I can say the industries. There are VPN services, a few of them actually. There is a website that that sells gift cards. I believe their name, I could say Coinsby. Yeah, they accept DigiByte as well. There is a service, Travala, that lets you purchase tickets for the planes and book hotels, etc. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I know that there are brick and mortar stores that use NOWPayments, and since DigiByte is one of the most popular coins, it is always suggested for the business owners to accept the popular coins. So I would assume there are like a solid number of offline businesses as well that already accept DigiByte as a payment. Yeah. All right. Shall we move in for the Q&A session, or there is some follow-up question?
Yeah, I think we can.
All right. So to motivate our listeners a bit more, DigiByte team at the end of the email will choose the 5 best questions and award them with 1,000 DGB each. All right. So do you guys want to decide who goes first? You said North was the one who raised his hand. So
yeah, I think to be fair, North hand is raised for the longest time. So I think we give him the mic first.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So I've got a couple of questions, maybe probably 2. So my first question was, I saw under your security that you have a multi-shield and then a DigiShield. So I'd love to know how these two are actually working together to protect everything you're building. And then secondly, I saw you had 5 mining algorithm. So I'd love you to explain on these 5 mining algorithm and how it would help those coming to your projects.
Yeah, I'm happy to take that question, because I think I can answer both in one, because they're actually related. Because DigiShield is actually the combination of those 5 mining algorithms together with the near real-time difficulty adjustments. So if you look at other proof-of-work blockchains like Bitcoin or Litecoin, they will only use one mining algorithm. So that means that typically nowadays all mining algorithms are dominated by so-called ASIC computers, so that are specialized hardware that are specifically built for that mining algorithm. And if you have the majority of hash power, of computing power on that single mining algorithm, then effectively you are the boss of the chain. So if there would come a big miner that has an enormous amount of script mining power, then they could take over the Litecoin chain. Although Litecoin is also pretty big nowadays in hash power, so that gets harder by the day. But still, it can be done. With DigiByte, we have to find 5 mining algorithms. So that means that there are different mining algorithms, but it also means that they work independent of each other. So suppose there comes a nefarious party that has managed to take control of one of the 5 mining algorithms, then still he would not be able to attack the DigiByte chain at all, and not even get all the block rewards, because of the difficulty adjustment that will immediately kick in and says to that big miner, okay, you're now equally strong as the other 4 mining algorithms, so he will not be able to get more than 1/5 of all the blocks available. So, and also the powerful thing is that there is different types of hardware needed for the different mining algorithms. So that is an extra layer of security, because you will have to have a majority on all those types of hardware also. So that makes it even harder. So those 2 items combined we call DigiShield. And yeah, it was a DigiByte invention, and actually the near-term time difficulty adjustment technology was also incorporated in other blockchains. So it's a very successful technology.
Yeah. So I love the combination. I love the explanation. So my last question is actually, I know you talked about its fastness or its speed in carrying out transaction. So I'd love to know if in the future you now begin to have GameFi come into what you're building your blockchain and the rest. So do you really see a future of GameFi within your ecosystem?
I could not really understand what you mean. GameFi?
Yeah, the question was about the GameFi. Yeah, if there is a future for GameFi within the DigiByte ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in 2 ways, and actual payments, micropayments, DigiByte is very well suited for, but also for creating tokens on the DigiByte blockchain, for NFTs inside of games. So yes, both for the micropayments and for the use of NFT or tokens within the games. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, North, for your question. I just want to point out to the upcoming good questions by our listeners. Let's try to stick for 1 question per person, because otherwise we'll stay here forever. All right. Thank you, North. You guys decide who goes next.
Okay, so I don't know. For me, the first next one that I will see is Fortune. I think he's raising his hand for quite a long time. Maybe the next one.
All right. Hello, can you
Next.
hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for this opportunity. My question to DigiByte, I just want to know what demography or countries are you covering currently, and also in terms of your content, like which other languages are you planning to have it to reach out to some potential non-English users out there that, because of language barrier, they're unable to know more about your project. So I want to know, like, can you share more light about this?
I think the demographics is really pretty global in the meantime. From looking at this space, we have quite a lot of time zones participating, from before sunrise to well after sunset. I hear a lot of accents, so we can assume that it's very widely spread. There's about a million wallets that do have active balances in DigiByte at the current moment. And we think, but this is just a theory, of course, that particularly the developing countries and the young demographics of the world should really get educated and find out more about DigiByte, because it's such a fair launched blockchain, and it is yet so affordable at right now being priced only at like 1 cent or around 1 cent per DigiByte, right? So it probably enables to onboard a lot of people in general. And I think the idea of DigiByte having 21 billion total coins in circulation, and to mine this out in 2035, and then by 2035 being fully dependent only on transaction fees, it's a very bold move for a blockchain. And in that sense, it will turn DigiByte into a real pioneer in this blockchain space. Of course, it's not been the first coin. Of course, that goes to Bitcoin and will always be in that way. But in terms of being fully mined, the DigiByte blockchain has accelerated this by more than 100 years, right? So a lot of people that are currently in this conversation here will still be very much alive and well to see how the last DigiByte gets into circulation. And I think that's one big thing that is a standout in the DigiByte blockchain. And I think that is something that will attract a lot of people from the younger demographics, because they can still very much afford an entry into the DigiByte coin, right? Where in contrary, many other projects are much more higher price and have a much different past. And yeah, they will not mine out within this lifetime of ours, right? If you look at Bitcoin or Litecoin, unfortunately, I myself will never be able to witness how it comes to end, right? How the last coin gets mined. But in DigiByte, it's still going to be very much possible.
Yeah, and if I might add to the answer to Fortune's question about the demographics, yeah, so it's like Lars rightfully said, it's very hard to see because it's a fully decentralized blockchain. So you can see that the wallets that are all over the world. So that's one of the telltales that you can say, okay, demographics are all over the world. And the other thing is that we have our websites translated in many, many, many languages. So if you go to digibyte.org, it will automatically pick your own language, and also the DigiByte wallets, the mobile wallets for Android and iOS are translated in, I believe, 50, that's 50 different languages, all done by community members all over the globe. So that are, I think, really telltales of how widespread the demographic is of the DigiByte users. I also see Miss Teen Crypto joining the space. Welcome.
Hi guys, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for taking the invitation. Much appreciated. Welcome.
Of course. I love DigiByte. I think you guys are great. And I if I could just add to the conversation, I think what you guys were talking about before was perfect when you were saying like fast transactions, micro transactions at that. Because when I think of Gen Z, when I think of the younger generation, we don't want to wait. For example, we spend $2 of Bitcoin at a coffee shop and wait 20 minutes for it to confirm. Meanwhile, something like Litecoin or even DigiByte, which is even faster, where I could be at the register, transact right there, spend my $2, and it's automatically basically right there and then settled, and I could leave and move on with my day. So I do think when it comes again to the younger generation, we don't want to wait for confirmations. We want something fast, easy, accessible, and that's DigiByte. So thanks again for having me.
Awesome.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you for your input. All right, who wants to go next? I believe the.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for bringing me up. Yeah, actually, I wanted to know. Do you have plans on actually running like ambassadorship program to actually create more awareness of your project to other countries and nations who are not that learned in English speaking?
Yeah, maybe I can take that, or Mike. So yeah, we have in fact rolled out an ambassador project and a program, but the problem was that a lot of people who applied for it, they maybe have misunderstood that this is like a job scope that is basically a salaried job. That is unfortunately the thing that DigiByte blockchain never offers, as we will be mentioning at the very beginning. The DigiByte blockchain is a fully fair launch blockchain. That means no one gets any salaries or paid. So everyone active in support is actually a volunteer. So that's unfortunately, we haven't received a lot of applications, but they were all like job applications. And this job here, unfortunately, doesn't pay. Yeah, it's purely an educational, volunteerial role that there is in the program.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for answering my question.
Yeah, so indeed, so we do seek ambassadors for the DigiByte blockchain, but they really must do it from their heart's desire. So because they love DigiByte and they want to be part of the open source global community and well, pick up that role, and not for personal gain directly, but really because you believe in the future of decentralized payments and the role that DigiByte can play in that, then you're quite welcome to join us. So you can go to the
Yeah, we'd just like
website.
to add too, on top of that, as Lars and we're saying, in the foundation, we're looking for ambassadors to join us and to become a part of the foundation. But also being a permissionless protocol, you don't have to join the foundation or some of the other groups, such as the DigiByte Awareness Team or the DigiByte Alliance. You can go out and form your own team or just go out and do your own thing. Collaborations are great, but some people, you might maybe just due to your circumstances, you prefer to just do things on your own, and that's totally welcome. I mean, again, you don't have to ask anyone's permission to do any of those things. If you want to start your own YouTube channel and create content around DigiByte, go for it, or just create your own artwork, your own line of T-shirts. It's something that anyone and everyone is welcome to do, and they don't need permission from anyone else in the community in order to do it. And it's one of the things that really appealed to me about DigiByte, and that's how I first got started. Just kind of going out and doing my own thing, and it's such an interesting process to go through, because you really learn firsthand what decentralization really means and what it's all about. And it's such an empowering feeling, just to know that, hey, I can just go out and do this, and you don't have to get approval from anyone or any organization, any government entity. You can just do what you want, and uh, and it's great for the community, and it's great for the industry, because at the core, that's what it's really about. It's what we're trying to do. And how we usher in this new system, this new paradigm of individuals having the power, not centralized authority within governments that can dictate the rules and change the rules to benefit themselves and those who donate to their campaigns. An individual can just open up a computer, run their own node. If they can mine the coins, they can transact with whoever they want. And so this is one of the things that I think that really makes DigiByte so robust and resilient, is that you do have organizations like the foundation that Lars Ruker and I and a few others belong to, who are dedicated to the principles of what DigiByte stands for, and we work together behind the scenes with other groups and collaborate. But in the end, you don't have to do any of those things. You can just go out and do your own thing, and I think that's one of the things that makes DigiByte such a fantastic protocol.
Exceptionally well said, Mike. Thanks.
Agree. Right. I see there are a lot of people raising their hands. Let's go with T Gods, I believe.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Morning.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So my question is, I just want to know if you guys have plans of maybe going cross-chain in the future. I don't know if that is maybe part of your plans.
I'm not sure if I understood the question correctly. Cross-chain?
Yeah, like cross-chain. I don't know if maybe maybe you have plans on going cross-chain in the future.
You mean the cross-chain interoperability protocol from Chainlink, you mean?
No, like cross-chain for the token. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there is currently no plans for cross-chain interoperability, and I'm not sure if that's also possible. There is atomic swaps that can be done between the OG UTXOs like Bitcoin, Litecoin, DigiByte, and DigiByte is also part of the REN bridge, but no plans for, as far as I'm aware of cross-chain implementation.
Okay. Just one more question. Let's say how are you planning to onboard more users? Like, can you tell us your marketing strategy to make this happen?
It's grassroots movement. So just like Mike just explained, we all do our part. So that really means that everybody who uses DigiByte is in a position to expand it by mouth-to-mouth advertisements, but also companies that are using it and speaking well of it, and of course the organized groups like DigiByte Alliance and the DigiByte Awareness Team and DigiByte Foundation. And we have had several others also in the past. They can become active or not. So it's really a grassroots movement. I also think this is the strength of DigiByte. It might take some more time, but it is solid and it is really grounds up. And it's not hyped by marketing money as soon as it runs out and people will drop. So this is really a strong foundation that we have been building for 9 years now globally. And that will keep on expanding.
Yeah, and maybe to add to what Rutger was just mentioning is, I think cross-chain operability is more important for tokens that are issued on either Ethereum or Polygon or other blockchains, but don't run on their own blockchain. And I think it's important to highlight here that DigiByte is not a token. It is just like Bitcoin or Litecoin, a coin with a finite coin count, and it's a proof of work mining algorithm, right? With the 5 mining algorithms. So it doesn't need to be cross-chain because it interacts on its very own chain, right? So the liquidity, the trading liquidity, or whatever other companies are looking for, isn't really so relevant for a project like DigiByte. It's really just individuals who basically start buying into this blockchain and then own one piece out of a finite 21 billion, right? So it's slightly different. That means there is no how you say, like inflation or devaluation or there's no inflation in the total total outcome of coins that will ever be mined, right? Many of those other chains, you never really know what is their finite coin cap, but with Bitcoin, Litecoin, and DigiByte, you do know that they have their final count, right? So it's something that is very different from many of the tokens that you see operating and that seek to operate cross-chain.
All right, thank you guys for your answer. All right, let's say Alpha goes next, because yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. My question, I want to know, how do you maintain liquidity and balance in the market while targeting the token price in line with the project revenue growth? And also, as a promising project, why are you seeing yourself 5 years from now as a team?
Again, I think I want to stress, maybe we can hear it from someone else, but DigiByte is an open source project. So we don't do projections of the price. In fact, we don't really talk about the price because the technology is why we're here. So we don't have any projections on what the price is going to be, or we don't have a marketing budget. We don't have an organization that pays companies to list us. We're just an open source project where we're just wanting people to see the merit in what we offer and participate.
Absolutely, absolutely, and the beauty is also that there's no company that needs to have revenue, because that's the word you also used. A lot of other blockchain projects, they're actually just regular companies that use some form of blockchain technology to create some form of product, and they will have just a regular, profit loss balance sheet, and when the profit is dropping and the loss is mounting, they will just drop out and go out of existence. And that's the difference, like Amar rightfully said, just like with Bitcoin, there is no DigiByte company. So because it's the blockchain itself is well established globally in terms of miners and wallets and node runners, exchanges and businesses, and so the network is established, and it establishes itself. So there is no company that needs to be funded to get DigiByte a success. The only thing that is needed for even more success of DigiByte is expansion of its ecosystem and usage by you and me and everybody who uses it.
Well, adoption. That's the only thing that got to be matters.
Exactly.
I think that covers it and answers the question. And that's actually super cool. That's why I like you guys for that. All right. AJ, I guess you can go next.
Hello, am I audible now? Okay.
Hi, how are you doing?
Okay, thank you very much for bringing me up. My question is regards to security. As we all know that security audits are extremely important for any project, especially DeFi protocols that deals with users' phone. So can you explain if DigiByte has been audited to convey confidence and security fully to the crypto communities that are interested in investing in your project?
Maybe we can just replicate or repeat the answer from before, right? There is no product in DigiByte, and the code of the DigiByte blockchain is available for review, open source on the GitHub. On GitHub, so anyone can go and check the code for themselves. There is no product that basically is promoted here, yeah. So it's purely just like Bitcoin, finite blockchain. Yeah, it's a fully decentralized and immutable blockchain that will run with us being here and talking and liking it, or with us not liking it and not supporting it. It will just keep on going. There is no cost other than what the miners have, and the miners are being rewarded with the mining rewards, right? And other than this, DigiByte doesn't pay no salaries, pay no rent, and has no product other than its native coin that basically you can load value into and then transfer it P2P to anyone, anywhere in the world in a fairly fast time and at literally negligible cost. That is the DigiByte coin, but it's not really a product in that sense. Yeah, so it's a big difference. We are not. There's no P&L, and no one is selling DigiByte except the exchanges where you buy it, and those get it for miners, right? So miners probably have a mining reward in there. Yeah, but the people in here and anyone speaking is not promoting a product in that sense. Yeah, so it's quite a big distinction that needs to be understood. So just like Bitcoin, it's not a product; it's just a coin that people can buy or not buy, and it will keep on running regardless.
Exactly, and I think I might add that the security of the core DigiByte protocol is of course paramount in that. And we have now a track record of 9 years running without ever being hacked. So it is open source, but it is battle hardened in real life and looked upon by many eyes on the source code. Yeah, we have a 100% success rate. With the chain has also been up for 100% in the last 9 years. Only Litecoin and Bitcoin can say the same.
I believe that this actually shows the security of the DigiByte even better than any kind of audit there could have been. Like if you run for 9 years with a 100% success rate, that's awesome. All right, how are you guys feeling? Not tired yet? Going to the next one?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
All right.
Yep.
All right. I believe the next one could be NFT Lord. Hopefully the question is not going to be about DigiByte price or something like that. Yeah, because it's been plenty of questions about how open source works. We probably should do another space on that. Hi, NFT Lord.
Good day. Thank you very much for bringing me up to speak. My question is regarding sustainability. Like, I want to know, like, how do you guys plan of sustaining this project for a long run? Like what are your sustainability plans, or how do you plans of keeping investors in the long time? And why building this wonderful project? What are some of the challenges and difficulties that you guys face in developing this project, and how did you overcome them? Thank you.
Well, DigiByte has been around since 2014, 9 years, and we've seen our share of divisiveness within the community. And as far as developers, because DigiByte is an open source project, there's nobody getting paid. Development is a little slow. Um, that's one of the negative things. And then the other thing is price. A lot of people look at the price and they don't see the product. And we don't necessarily have a product, but we do have the DigiByte native coin, which we want to see be successful. Again, we don't have a company to measure how well DigiByte is doing financially because there's no company and there's no risk of loss of anything or bankruptcy because there's no corporation behind it. I think once we understand what decentralization is and how it works, because we've been confused because Bitcoin showed us what it was, but then we had this ICO craze and all these other forms of cryptocurrencies. And so those have been brought to the market in a different way. But DigiByte, because we followed the suit of Bitcoin and the technology and how it came to the market, and just in many ways, people don't understand how it exists today. So we believe that people will continue to believe in decentralization and they will see Bitcoin and then they'll see DigiByte as an alternative, just like Miss Teen Crypto said, it's faster, it's better for micropayments. And Jared Tate, the creator of DigiByte, did not want to replace Bitcoin. He wanted to complement it. And so that's what we do. We complement Bitcoin.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Hello.
Hi, Hot Pizza, how are you? You can ask your question now.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
All right. All right. My question is about your staking program. As we all know, a great staking program will attract many users. So, my question is, as an investor, will there be any like minimum or maximum amount of DGB required for staking? And I would like to know if there is risks for staking and the lockup period, if there is. Thank you.
Okay, so maybe once again, I think needs to be clarified. Yeah, so DigiByte is not a token, meaning there is no staking. And the question that I think is important to ask is, where do staking rewards come from? How are they generated, right? I mean, this whole space has been shaken up quite a bit in the last, whatever, 12 to 18 months. And I think it's important to learn lessons as well and to recognize what's happening and where the staking rewards come from, and that those staking rewards are probably all a little bit fishy, or not all, but mostly a little bit fishy. And DigiByte, again, as what Master of Leadership was trying to emphasize, is a blockchain protocol that is simply there to complement Bitcoin. So if maybe we can highlight a current development that is maybe relevant for the present moment, is that Bitcoin is now having this ordinals on the taproot enhancement. And this is something that wasn't there previously. So this is some development that could cause a situation in which the transaction fees of Bitcoin become more expensive and the blockchain gets more active in terms of transaction value that it has to handle. And this transaction value basically is going to raise transaction prices, is at least a high potential. Plus, it may slow down the transfer experience further. And it is already not really fast. If ever you were to go somewhere and you would want to pay something with Bitcoin, that might not be very quick of an experience. But if you do the same thing with DigiByte, it will be near instant. And the big point that this makes is not that Bitcoin is now not as good as it was before. It's still as good, but it just proves more and more to be the ideal store of value, right? Because if a transaction becomes more expensive, you might not do it. You just keep it. You keep the coin, right? You don't transact in it because if transaction costs reach certain points, they no longer make sense. Like if you want to buy a small item that costs $1 and the transaction fee is more than that, you wouldn't use that medium of exchange in order to pay for this purchase. So DigiByte is ideal in such a use case where something costs even a cent. To send a DigiByte transaction, it would literally be a very small, tiny fraction of a cent. And it will be negligible. So that is the big thing to understand here, right? In terms of complementing a Bitcoin use case, it simply does so by being faster and by being cheaper and by being more user friendly in terms of this particular moment of exchange. But ultimately, if you look at store of value, you can see that high transaction fees on Bitcoin will drive price of Bitcoin higher. And that is something that is currently maybe witnessed right now, right? It remains to be seen if that is connected. But yeah, that is where DigiByte is in complement to Bitcoin and also Litecoin, yeah. Because for example, at this moment, Taproot is not yet implemented into the DigiByte version.
Correct. So, and I think, yeah, it's great point, Lars. And I was also very interested in Miss Crypto's experience. If you want to respond to that, Miss Team Crypto, because what we experience, and you can see it also now happening in this space, that a lot of people are not really aware of what true decentralization means, and how this staking, which usually, well, a lot of times is just like a Ponzi scheme. You pay out users with tokens of others, or you just print them out of air. So there's a lot of things. Well, I would call them negative things. You could also call it a steep learning curve for people in the crypto space to really understand what is a legit.
Yeah, this space actually turns out into a great educational content for everybody. I'm not sure whether you broke off on purpose or not.
So I'm wondering if Miss Teen Crypto could, because she's very broadly active. So we are of course doing everything DigiByte, but she's so broadly active in the crypto space. Do you see this happening all over the place, that people get misled by scam projects, or don't understand what decentralization means, or having trouble with this falling for the staking trap and then lose all their coins, what we have seen in the last year?
Yeah, I've seen, a lot of people, I guess, get distracted by the staking and all of the Celsius, Voyager types, just because I think we had like that bull run. People got comfortable. They wanted, unfortunately, sometimes people are blinded by the money signs, the dollar signs. But I think after, in 2022, with all of the volatility, the liquidation events, all the Chapter 11s, that people are very much reassured the fundamentals of this space versus like what I'd like to say the pumpamentals of the space, where people are just seeing dollar signs, whereas in 2022 people saw the real value, I guess, the fundamentals kicked in again of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, where we left the traditional financial system because we wanted to be our own bank. We wanted to be in control of our funds, and instead people let that slip away and used custodians again. Whereas now people are saying, hey, if I have money on an exchange that I don't want to lose, I want to be in control of that. So I'm going to take that into my own wallet and then refer to things like Bitcoin again, learn the fundamentals of that, things like Litecoin and DigiByte, like why we're here, peer-to-peer payments and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So indeed, it's maybe you could see it also as a lesson for humanity, that we are confronted with our own greed and fall for the shiny objects and then get scammed and rug pulled over. I think that this is a fast learning curve that we are witnessing. And I hope that that in the next wave, because we're getting ready for the next wave, more people help each other out. Also, if that's really a question to everybody who's listening. If you hear of somebody who's new to crypto, please share the fundamentals with them and really make sure that they don't fall for the scams. That they learn how to take custodian of their own coins. Within DigiByte, we always say, not your coins, not your DigiByte. So not your coins, not your crypto is more broadly. But that's so important. We need to, as a humanity, move to the next phase, and that means taking our powers back and don't become victim of centralized entities that can either steal your coins, lock you out of your coins, or just shut you out of the system, because we never know why. You want to be...
and maybe to add to this, and also to what Mr. Crypto was just saying, I think Celsius is a very good case. If I'm not wrong, I just read that basically they were right not to return anything to anyone, right? Because customers have truly signed over ownership to the entity. So I think that's really a big wake-up call for anyone to realize that this is highly difficult for a couple of percent that are really questionable with this staking scenario, to basically put all your eggs into such a basket onto a marketing promise, which basically, once broken, has no consequence to the one breaking it, but a huge loss of everything that was being put into this marketing concept. And the returns, inclusive the so-called rewards, were all gone. Yeah, so ultimately there was no payout. In fact, a complete black hole that kind of came across and sucked up whatever coins they were put into this box. So I think it's very important to be very clear here that if people want to invest in marketing promises, then basically there's a stock market to participate, right? There you can find dilution, but also balance sheets and profit and loss statements for anyone to make their own decision and have due diligence. But in most concepts of whatever DAOs or other chains, such as maybe Ethereum or whatever, in my opinion, this also is more of it resembles a company, right? The transaction fee is a business model in the case of an Ethereum blockchain. And if you don't run an app or the app on it, then I'm not really sure why one needs Ethereum as a medium of exchange or a transfer of value, because it's a different scenario, right? Because one is not always one. If this entity decides that they would need to raise more funds, then this entity or these entities usually can issue more of their own tokens, right? Same with Celsius, they also had their own token, right? So it's very, very intransparent for any outsider. And unless you are an insider and you can better time situations, it probably makes very little sense to get truly engaged in the marketing conversation. And DigiByte is basically completely different in its approach and in its creation. It is really just like Bitcoin. Yeah, there is no CEO. No one gives you a staking reward, but you could safely transfer your value into a particular number of coins. That value may completely change. It may go up, it may go down quite a lot, but the coin count doesn't change. It's the typical statement like one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Same is true for one DigiByte. But the value may not be the $10 that you have uploaded 12 years ago may now only be $1. That is the risk there, but no one promises that this is not going to be worth $1. It's completely speculative, of course, but at least there is a mathematical logic to it, and there's a finite supply, and I think that's really important. That is ultimately a non-dilutive system, and that the supply at some point will stop. And yet, if let's say there are blackouts or there are CBDCs that may end up truly controlling what you buy and how you pay for it, there is a potential of having this immutability aspect
Mm-hmm.
of DigiByte, which is going to make a big change because many of the proof of stake systems won't have this immutability. There are already cases of transactions that have been rewind in many chains, right? So it's really important nowadays to do a little bit of a deep dive and to not buy the marketing promise anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, be cautious and explore, do your own diligence, and don't listen to anything we say here. Prove whatever words there are, and make your own mind. And DYOR, as the crypto space likes to say.
Do your own research always. Yeah,
You,
absolutely.
you
Yeah, I'd like to
just
add to that just a little bit what Lars was saying, because I think it's very important to really emphasize to especially newcomers into the space, the concept of sound money, which is what, of course, DigiByte and Bitcoin, Litecoin are, and a few others, because of that fixed supply. There's no just, oh, well, let's just keep cranking out more and more coins, because, a lot of these people, they see what our financial and monetary system currently is, and they realize that it's broken. Just, when you go to the store to buy eggs, if you can find them, they cost twice as much as they did a year ago. And you look at other industries such as housing has been out of control for many years now, and it's becoming out of reach for many people. And so, just, everyday people are just really getting crushed financially, just with the reduction in their purchasing power. And we're really starting to feel that here in the United States, which we've been largely immune to it, um, for many decades, just due to the structure of the world markets and oil and the petrodollar and all of that. We've been able to export our inflation for all that time, but the chickens are starting to come home to roost, just because of all the printing that's been occurring during that time, and things are really starting to, about to reach that hockey stick point where things are just going to go parabolic. And so when people come into the space, it's important that they understand the difference between a fairly launched non-ICO fixed supply coin like DigiByte versus some of these other options. Like we talked about the staking options, and I'm not saying that there's no use cases for those, but again, these are the things that, these are properties and characteristics of the DigiByte protocol that make it stand out, make it unique, and I think give it a lot of value compared to some of those other projects.
Yeah, exceptionally well stated, Mike. I mean, we really have to go back to the origin of Bitcoin and why it was created. It was really created as an answer to financial crisis, which, well, was built on corruption and money printing. So effectively, what we are building here as a base layer, if you look at the Bitcoin, Litecoin, DigiByte, immutable transactions without a third party controlling it or blocking it, and indeed finite supply to make sure that there is no misuse of inflation in there, effectively as a maybe as a fail-safe for for civilization. If we all end in an inflationary collapse, then we have our option B already running and working. So, and that is the basis from where the whole crypto industry originated from, and it is still there. But we really have to be aware of why do we crypto, why do we DigiByte, and keep that in mind, and don't fall for the quick, easy money schemes that are being promoted, because the most of them are just that, and they'll try to get your coins. And I think a lot of the old timers in the crypto space can adhere to that. How hard it is to make sure you keep your coins. There's so many things that can happen. So I think that is the most important thing for now. And of course there are a lot of other decentralized finance innovations that we really can use, and they are also being developed, and that's great to see. But that's still, I think, more in a development phase compared to the base layer that we are talking about.
Yeah, it's great that you said it. Yeah, everything around DigiByte is already here and now. It's not a promise into the future of what is going to be there. It's already there for anyone to really have a look at. I think Miss Teen Crypto wanted to add something or say something earlier. Sorry, I think we over spoke.
No, I was just gonna say the same thing that Mike kind of said after me, but thanks for coming back. I think that you guys are awesome, just shouting it out, and I really love like that you guys are saying, hey, like listen to us, take it with a grain of salt, but also go and do your own research, and that's what I preach the most too: is do your own research, be your own bank, and stick to the fundamentals again of the space. So just want to shout out that you guys are awesome.
Wow, thank you.
That's great, and I hope none of our listeners would have to learn this by experience. I mean, like the collapses and etc. Everything fishy that has happened in the industry, and yeah, once again, do your own research and learn the fundamentals. That's true. All right. Let's do one question from the comments, and then we'll do 2 or 3 more from the live audience, and try to slowly wrap this up. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. All right. I've seen the question in the. Actually, I think this one might be addressed more to me than to you guys, but you could jump in as well. There's a question: what are the future plans for DGB and NOWPayments collab? What I believe here, it could be like the business owners and the merchants that we have. We could promote DigiByte even more for them, especially for the brick and mortar services and places. We also have the POS functionality that can be enabled by business owners. So basically, anyone who would like to accept DigiByte offline, they can set up the POS on their phone and pay through NOWPayments almost instantly, as you guys already mentioned. So I believe, as we all mentioned before, that the retail should be the industry that grows the most this year, accepting crypto payments wise, specifically DigiByte payments. So yeah, we think that we will continue promoting DigiByte to suggest to use DigiByte as a payment method for our merchants, and probably more of that will be happening for the offline merchants as well.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's see if there are any other ones in the comments. I see the one about a metaverse field. Is that something that you guys are into at all? Like, do you have any plans expanding into metaverse field? I'm not sure if it's your thing or not.
Well, it's metaverse is really like a container. It's not a well-defined topic, is it? I mean, everybody can have his own definition or idea or vision about it. So in that regard, I think it's a hard question to answer. You could say, well, it will be a virtual world, like a copy of the physical world, where you can have your avatar and then move around in a digital fashion. And that in that regard, of course, DigiByte is already usable. You can use it for payments in the metaverse. You can create NFTs in the Digi assets. You could use DigiID for metaverse login, secure authentication. So there is the already present use cases for DigiByte are also immediately applicable for using in the metaverse. That's how I see it. But I still have a lot of problems with the metaverse. I don't know. I'm more master of leadership. What is your opinion about the metaverse and what it entails?
I really, I don't really follow the metaverse.
No, no, maybe
Yeah,
somebody
me
else. Yeah.
Me personally, I don't know. I have not yet shaped a conclusive opinion on this whole buzzword around metaverse. I think, like what you say, Rutger, it really remains to be seen what that means, and the definition is still widely open. Till then, I think I don't have a real opinion other than that I know for myself if there's a party and I have the option to go there physically in real world, then I will do that, and I definitely not sit on my couch with a device on my head and think I am in that party. Uh, Not gonna be my metaverse. But if there are other ways where this can be used, and as you come from the DigiByte aspect of it as a form of payment in it, then I can kind of see the simplicity of that working with it. But yeah, I think I'm still more of a real world experience friend than the metaverse. But okay, let's see how it develops. And because I think the difference here is metaverse is still one of those future promises that has to be delivered and isn't really there. And again, to me, that's one of those big differences between DigiByte, where everything is already present here and now, and nothing needs to be delivered into the future except maybe the coin supply to complete. But other than this, we are talking about something that it's the present and not necessarily the future. And metaverse, I think, is maybe a future, maybe not. Let's see how the CPUs are getting that together.
I actually agree with you guys here. The metaverse is like it's too vague. So you can call anything a metaverse. I would say that our merchant partners, CipherVault, for example, they sell shirts and they accept DigiByte through NOWPayments. Does that make us a metaverse? I would think so. Like, yeah, in a sense, yeah, it is a metaverse. Like they accept DigiByte. We provide payment like option for them. They sell shirts. I would think it's a metaverse as well.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Miss Teen, what is a metaverse? in an elevator pitch in 1 minute.
Yeah, I guess everyone should answer that question for themselves. All right, let's do a couple more from the live audience and slowly wrap this up. By the way, actually, yeah, never mind. Sorry about that. All right, do you guys want to decide who goes next? Because there's so many requests. I haven't seen who should be next.
I don't see a hand raised. Yeah, there is a hand raised. It's Panda. You see Panda?
Yep, I added him as a speaker. Yeah, there you
go. Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to know, as a project, what are you intending to accomplish this year and beyond? Like, what are your latest features, or what are you planning to bring up this year and beyond? Like, can you just share with us what are your latest plans for this year and beyond?
I think the question was specifically about the plans for this year for the DigiByte team. But I believe there are no plans, right? Because
well, there are of course initiatives going on right now. So if you could look at it a different perspective. So you could look at it, okay, community-wise. I think the plan of the broader community is to expand the community. Next to that, there are different groups like DigiByte Alliance, for instance. They're working on several things. They're really have expanded their reach now in the United States in terms of legal and becoming a legal entity. So they might expand on plans. They've been working on the Discord community, for instance. You see within the development of the blockchain, there are plans. So currently, work is being done on version 8 of the DigiByte blockchain. There will be several new features in there, and but that, especially what Lars already earlier said, we are now looking into the taproot issue, which is currently plaguing the Bitcoin blockchain of creating the 4 megabytes transactions. So that definitely needs to be avoided within DigiByte, but there is plans for that, and also that means a follow-up on the release of the mobile wallets for Android and iOS, because they need to be updated as well to work with the new 8 version. So I think those items are pretty concrete, but as been stated many times before in this space, DigiByte is a fully volunteer open source project in blockchain. So that means that plans can always change, can be postponed, or can be speed up depending on what is happening. So I think that's awesome to see, and so we really ask anyone in the space and who is a DigiByte fan and to come up with their own ideas about, okay, how do you want to expand the DigiByte community or the ecosystem, and do the things you love to do to expand it.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I think that covers it. All right, I see the Victor or Oliver is raising the hand, so let's give him a shout, and then you guys could rewind back if you still remember the questions and like try to choose the ones that you like the most. Hi, Victor. What is your question?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I have a question. Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So my question is, trust is very important in business. What makes investor, customer, and user feel safe when working with your project?
Did you guys get the question?
Okay, good. So my question.
I believe we had some other. Yeah, could you repeat your question?
My question is, trust is very important in business. What makes investors, customer, and user feel safe when working with your project? That's my question.
I believe that question could be addressed. If I understood it correctly, it's addressed to NOWPayments, because I mean we've already said so many times that DigiByte is not a project per se. As for the trust of NOWPayments, it goes both ways. It is non-custodial, so which is probably the most important thing here for us as well. Like, not your crypto, not your keys, not your crypto. So yeah, NOWPayments is non-custodial. It's just a service that helps businesses to accept cryptocurrencies like in a simple way with the with a variety of solutions, such as mass payouts, POS, recurring invoices, donations, etc. Like the feature-wise, there are a lot of them to choose from, and business keeps the full ownership of the crypto that they receive, including DigiByte. Yeah. So I believe that should always be the point, like for all projects. I mean, NOWPayments is not open source; it is a project. We are a company, but still, the commission fees that we are charging are the lowest among all of our competitors. And yeah, as I was saying, like the non-custodiality of all this thing is probably the most important part when we talk about the trust issues for the projects. Like, as long as you own your keys and you're the one being responsible for them, ain't nothing going to happen to them, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. That's also why I really like to promote and recommend NOWPayments, because you really adhere to the root basics of the whole blockchain industry, and you also run nodes. That's also an awesome feature, I think. One of the fastest and cheapest nodes in the industry.
Yeah, it's not us running the nodes, like it's within our parent company. Yeah, so now there is a parent company changed now, but now Nodes is like another like a sister project.
Yeah.
But yeah, it goes for this. It's like a base. It goes for all of our projects, like the basics of it. It's non-custodiality and like to the roots of the idea of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Yeah, so that goes for the nodes as well, and for the change now, and for NOWPayments, for all of the projects we have within our ecosystem. Yeah.
Yeah, and if maybe I might add, if anyone wants to learn a little bit more about nodes, because nodes are also so important to a decentralized, truly decentralized project like DigiByte, Mike and the team of your colleagues at NowNodes, they have made a really great video, and they discuss about nodes quite in depth. So that could be a good video to look for those who are interested to learn more about nodes, because here were so many questions. Where it became evident that people are not 100% clear of the difference between DigiByte and many of the proof of stake tokens that are out there. And I think nodes, they play quite a big part in understanding a little bit better of why DigiByte is different and why it is decentralized and why it is immutable in that sense.
Yeah, I guess we could share the video in the comments somewhere for this space. It's already turning out to be like the greatest educational, like one-stop place to go to. I would think that we would need to share this more to our communities, because I mean, like you guys basically answer most of the questions the newcomers have when they enter the crypto space.
Right. Yeah. And the video that Mike was doing there was really going to quite an extent. Yeah, I will share the link here. I'll search it and put it under this this space.
Yeah, and there was also DigiByte Alliance also did a Discord call on the 12th of February on running a node. I saw Laura popping in. I don't know, Laura, is it possible to replay it or get the information on the Discord on how to run a node? Or oh, I see she's only a listener at the moment.
Who do you need me to make the speaker?
Yeah, LT.
I see. Okay.
I'm not sure if
Hey guys. Yeah, we did that on Sunday, and yeah, there will be.
Oh, now you're live, Laura. Sorry, now you're just live now.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was on Sunday. All of our discussions, all of our education discussions through the Alliance are recorded and put on the resources channel on Discord. And there's also a PowerPoint that you can use as your own presentation if you want to talk to nodes about nodes to your own communities, whether in person or virtual. We're getting the video rendered now, so when that's rendered and up on the Discord, we'll tweet that out and let everybody know. I was wondering, can I ask a question? Are we still asking questions?
Sure, go ahead. Why not?
I was listening and I've been kind of following like the now nodes and the now or change now. And when I was looking, you've got quite the like extensive platform of services, and you referred to them as sister companies. Can you explain a little bit more about like how those companies are structured, as far as like, is there like a single CEO, and then it's all these single entities under like a parent company, or are these all separate companies?
No, as far as I know, they're all separate companies. I mean, I cannot say for now nodes. Quite frankly, I can say for NOWPayments, it is a separate company, but it's like I don't think like there is some legal structure that is behind it, like saying that the Change Now is the parent company and all the rest of them are like the child companies. And I refer to them as a sister company because I mean like they are also a product of Change Now. As far as I know, I think how it worked is like within there was Change Now at the beginning, and there are some teams within it that evolved into other projects, such as NOWPayments and NowNodes that are now run separately. But
right?
yeah, but since they have evolved from NOWPayments from within it, I'm sorry, from the Change Now, we kind of call them all like one ecosystem of Now products. But I don't think there's any like legal structure behind it, one CEO, etc. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Are you guys want to choose the best questions now, or?
I think I've noted them down, including the usernames.
So did I. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So let's do it offline later, because it's not it will not be easy to do that in the live
I get
debate.
it. Yeah. All right. And I encourage everyone who had asked questions to leave their DigiByte address in the comments, so that you could get the reward later. So everyone who had asked questions, once again, make sure to leave your address in the comments. All right, guys, let's try to wrap this up. Any like final words that would you like to share with others? Except, well, I would say that like once again, apparently it's a hot topic that needs to be repeated many times, like about doing your own research and always learning the fundamentals and not trying to run for easy money. That is my take on it. You guys go ahead.
Thanks, Elijah. Maybe we let Missing Crypto ladies first. I see the hand is raised.
Thank you, Lars. I appreciate it. I just want to say hi to LT Loves Digi. I've known her for a while, so hi to you as well. Thank you guys again for having me. I'm happy that, DigiByte is still going well and you guys still have a great community. I've been, in crypto for a while, and I've been talking about Digi since I was 17, and today I'm 20. So I'm really happy to be spending this time learning about DigiByte and still being a part of the community. And I'm really excited to see what you guys do in the future. So thanks again for having me. Really appreciate all the education you guys shared today.
That's great.
Yep, thanks a lot. Yeah, from my side, again, yeah, to Mr. Crypto, thanks a lot for taking the invitation. Really a pleasure to have you here. Much appreciated. And as mentioned before, for NOWPayments also, Truly great of you that you are, willing and proactive in hosting this space for us, because it is, I think, what probably we aim to achieve here in combination of all of us is that more people are learning about DigiByte and do their own research. And the platform like yours is helping us a lot in, attracting potentially new ears to the blockchain that is DigiByte, and get them interested to learn more for themselves. And it's great to have someone recognizing DigiByte, and especially as a company like yours, and to bridge the offline and online worlds with your brick and mortar as well as the electronic ways of receiving it via your widgets. It's really great to have partners in that sense, companies adopting DigiByte and promoting it and helping to educate. It's not only this space, but you also have a lot of great written content on your website. It's not only one blog, but there are plenty of blogs that can be found, and it's really educational. And it's all for free for anyone to go and read up. And again, thanks for hosting us here.
Amazing. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I totally concur. It's awesome that you could host us, and as I said before, it's really a pleasure to work with you and also the other members of the Now group, because for us it's so important to adhere to the blockchain basics, which is core for DigiByte too. So I would be happy to do another space in the future, and maybe we could also invite Change Now and Now Nodes. We could have a whole ecosystem discussion around what it means for blockchain and DigiByte, and to see we can expand this discussion even further. And last thing I want to say is that everyone in the community that is new to DigiByte, we welcome you to go to any of the groups like Alliance or the DigiByte Awareness Team or Foundation. We are present on Reddit, we're present on Twitter, on Telegram. If you go to digibyte.org, you can find all the social channels that we are present in. And of course, you're also welcome to start your own group and do your own work. So be welcome, and maybe we'll meet again.
That sounds like a great idea to me, and would love to see Misty in crypto there as well.
Of course, it was nice meeting you, NOWPayments. I know we've been following each other for a while, but it's nice to get in a space with you.
Yeah, I'd like to talk more actually later on. Obviously not right now, but yeah. All right, thank you.
Sounds cool.
All right, guys, if that's it, thank you all so much for joining. That was a really productive and educational, almost 2 hours of a space. Would love to do it sometime in the future. Once again, thank you all for joining, and everybody, do not forget to leave your DigiByte addresses in the comments. Thank you, and have a great day, all.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Good night or good day, whatever it may be.
Have a good one.
Thank
Bye,
you,
guys.
everyone. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.